Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with Decoy Dog. Decoy Dog. I have not checked this one out.
Mysterious Decoy Dog Malware Toolkit still lurks in DNS shadows. Anadi Lascu. New details have emerged about Decoy Dog, a largely undetected sophisticated toolkit likely used for at least a year in cyber intelligence operations, relying on the domain name system, DNS, for command and control activity. It is unclear who is behind the malware, but researchers at DNS-focused security vendor Infoblox believe that 4 actors are wielding and developing it for highly targeted operations. Observed activity is limited to the Russian and Eastern Europe space and appears to be related to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Decoy Dog activity marches on. While Infoblox only analyzed Decoy Dog's DNS and network traffic, as it is based on PUPI, it likely has the ability to download malware payloads on infected devices and execute commands sent by the attackers. Decoy Dog was discovered in early April after Infoblox specialists found anomalous DNS beaconing activity from half a dozen domains that acted as command and control (C2) servers for the malware. Box 4.
Don't care.
At the time, the researchers said that they found...
They'll be in the article.
At the time, the researchers said that they found the identical DNS query patterns arising from enterprise networks, which could not be tied to consumer...
I didn't see that. Bro, have any advice for somebody with a CS degree trying to get into cybersecurity? Yeah. I got a long-ass video. Bro. Here. Atlas, come here. My cat's just like standing over there screaming all the time. Come here, bro. He does it for no reason too, and then he comes over and he's like... He's just like weird, bro. He's a weirdo. He just likes to go and scream all the time. Alright, here we go. Watch this video. And then you'll know more about what you don't know and what you want to know.
Which could not be tied to consumer devices, and confirm that the queries originated from network appliances in a very limited number of customer networks. Whoever operates the toolkit did not cease activity after Infoblox announced their discovery and published a technical analysis showing that Decoy Dog was heavily based on the PUPI open-source post-exploitation remote access Trojan, RAT. New Infoblox research published today reveals that Decoy Dog is a major upgrade from PUPI that uses commands and configurations that are not in the public repo. Some of the differences observed include: Decoy Dog uses Python 3.8, while PUPI was written in Python 2.7. Decoy Dog requires Python 3.8. Numerous improvements including Windows compatibility and better memory operations. Decoy Dog significantly expands the communications vocabulary in PUPI by adding multiple communications modules. Decoy Dog responds to replays of previous DNS queries where PUPI does not. Unlike PUPI, Decoy Dog responds to wildcard DNS requests, which doubles the number of resolutions seen in passive DNS. Decoy Dog responds...
Yeah, let me answer your question after this article, okay?
Decoy Dog responds to DNS requests that don't match the structure of valid communication with a client. Decoy Dog has the ability to run arbitrary Java code by injecting it into a JVM thread and adds methods to maintain persistence on a victim device. Infoblox initially distinguished 3 Decoy Dog operators, who responded differently following the company's disclosure in April. A 4th one was discovered after the researchers finished the current Infoblox report. Activity from Box 4. Ignorelist. Com ceased, while HSDPS. CCNADS TMGLB. Click transferred clients to new domains. However, Infoblox did not see an operational change with CloudFront. Net and Allo listed. Net. The former has increased activity dramatically in February this year by transferring clients to newly registered controllers. Okay. Renee Burton, head of threat intelligence at Infoblox, told Bleeping Computer that the operators of the HSDPS, CCNADS TMGLB, click domains were able to hot swap clients to a different controller, meaning that the switch was done in memory. The current count of Decoy Dog MS servers, controllers, and domains is now closer to 24, Burton told us. A list of several domains the toolkit uses is available below. Several Decoy Dog controllers ORS, Infoblox. Highly targeted malware with short list of victims. Based on passive DNS traffic analysis, It is difficult to determine an accurate number of Datadog clients, which would indicate impacted devices, but the largest number of active concurrent connections that Infoblox observed on any one controller was less than 50 and the smallest was 4. Burton estimates that the current number of compromised devices would be less than a few hundred, indicating a very small set of targets, typical of an intelligence operation.
Very targeted, yeah.
Some of the changes one Decoy Dog operator made after Infoblox's disclosure was to add a geofencing mechanism that limits responses from controller domains to DNS queries from IP addresses in specific regions.
Very common with nation
We
states.
discovered this behavior in June 2023 and found that some of the servers responded only when we routed DNS queries through Russian IP addresses, while others would respond to any well-formed query from any location. Infoblox. Although this may imply that the victims are in Russia, the actor could also have chosen to route victim traffic through the region as a decoy or to limit the queries to relevant ones. Burton leans towards the first supposition, explaining that Decoy Dog behaves like Popeye and uses the default recursive resolver to connect to DNS. Because changing this system in modern networks is fairly challenging, the researcher says, it is likely that those controllers have victims in Russia or adjacent countries, which might also route data through Russia. TTPS point to multiple actors.
Really?
Infoblox distinguishes between the 4 actors operating Decoy Dog based on the observed tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTPS. However, it appears that they all respond to queries that match the right format for Decoy Dog or Popeye. Burton noted that this is bizarre behavior that could be by design, but even with her vast experience as a cryptographer, intel person, and data scientist, she can't pin it down to a specific reason. If the theory of multiple actors handling Decoy Dog is true, there may be 2 development groups that improved the toolkit with new functionality. According to Burton, one of the 4 groups is the most advanced Decoy Dog version seen in public repositories, whose clients connect to the controller CloudFront.
Nice typo
One
squatting.
controller
Nice
from this
typo
group,
squatting, for real.
Burton told Bleeping Computer, is Max Patrol. Net, but no connections were seen for it. This may suggest a lookalike of the vulnerability and compliance management system from Positive Technologies, a Russian cybersecurity company that has been sanctioned by the US in 2021 for trafficking of hacking tools and exploits used by state-sponsored hacking groups.
Yep, this guy, the guy who got charged. Oh man, here, let me see. They did it through Lithuania. Lithuanian Shell Corp used to funnel tech to Russia. Shell Corp used to funnel tech to Russia from USA. This was recent. Damn. Who was the guy? Russia military silicon from USA. Who was the guy? We talked about it so long ago, I guess. It wasn't too... Like, he just got charged, but it's been going on for a long time. I can't remember. I can't fucking remember the country. Basically, I think it was Lithuania or Latvia or something like that. But basically, a Russian national went and set up a company in that country, and was able to get a ton of U.S. military-grade silicon, right, chips needed for military systems to Russia. Yeah, cyber espionage and military stuff. So, cyber military, you know. Cyber/military. It was wild shit. Here,
a Russian cybersecurity company that has been...
This was not the guy, though. This was not the guy, because it was a different guy. It was a different guy. Yeah, no, these are just companies, NSO group. Selling spyware to target journalists and activists. Just the least evil thing they've done, huh? Yeah. Gross. Alright, let's continue.
Infoblox notes that newer versions of the toolkit come with a domain generation algorithm, acting as an emergency module to allow compromised machines to use a third-party DNS server if the malware can't communicate with its C2 server for an extended period. Extensive persistence mechanisms are available starting Decoy Dog Client version 3,
Let's get my cat to do
pointing
some
to an
tricks.
intelligence operation rather than a financially driven one or a red team. Decoy Dog's scope still a mystery. At the moment, Decoy Dog operations remain a mystery as far.
After this article, I'm going to do the cat trick. I'm going to tweet this thing, and then I'm going to answer your question in length.
At the moment, Decoy Dog operations remain a mystery as far as their purpose and handlers go. Infoblox has done its part in uncovering the toolkit using DNS data from its systems and bringing it to the attention of the InfoSec community.
Okay.
However, additional research is required to determine the targets, the initial compromise method, for example supply chain, known vulnerability, zero-day and targeted devices, and how actors move into the network.
We've been talking about supply chain vulnerabilities for such a long time, guys. We talked about them yesterday. I mean, we talk about them all the time. Basically, you know, anything that goes into the making of your software, the operations required to make your software is part of your supply chain, your software
Although
supply chain.
Infoblox received the support of the InfoSec community
Anything
from major
open source,
intel
closed source,
vendors,
doesn't matter.
government agencies, threat research groups, and financial organizations, detections for the malware or its full scope have not been disclosed publicly. Infoblox recommends defenders consider that IP addresses in both Decoy Dog and PupEye represent encrypted data, not real addresses used for communication. They should also focus on the DNS queries and responses as they can help with tracking the malware activity. One caveat is that the communication volume is low and a large log history is needed to track the communication.
Okay.
The company also created a YARA rule that can detect Decoy Dog samples the researchers observed since July and distinguish the toolkit from the public version of PupEye.
So, okay, let's tweet about this. I'm going to answer your question. We're going to do a cat trick. Here we go. Let me move this over. Thank you all for liking the tweets and the skeets. Blue Sky if you're on Blue Sky. Twitter if you're on Twitter. All right. Either way, same name. Same name, same guy. Same take. All right, so Atlas, wait a sec, okay? Just wait. Give me a minute. He wants the treat now. He's like,
the company also created
a
YARA.
You called me over and you didn't give me shit, bro. He's gonna come back. He'll come back. Here, hold up. We'll say like domains/IOCs in article. Decoy Dog. Unlike Puppy. Responds to wildcard DNS requests. This doubles the resolutions seen. It also runs arbitrary Java code on the source by injecting it into JVM threads. This updated version of the malware also what was I going to say? Oh yeah, includes or supports Windows because it didn't before. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Supports Windows as well. Okay. We send that out real quick. Bam. We'll go over here. Bam.